Sunny skies outside Salt Lake City for match week 12 of MLS Next Pro. Less than 24 hours after their first team counterparts took the pitch, Real Monarchs and Austin FC2 square off today, with each looking to make moves up the Western Conference table. Sandy, Utah, just south of downtown Salt Lake, is the setting this evening. Glad to have you with us on this Sunday evening of MLS Next Pro action. I'm AJ Ricketts. Don't let records or recent form fool you. Real Monarchs have been competitive and arguably unlucky over the course of this season, with 3 one-goal losses in their last 4. Monarchs look to flip that script against the Austin side, who conceded a heartbreaking goal in stoppage time last week, falling to LAFC 2-1. A pair of one-goal losses in a draw in the last 3 for Austin. A look at the Western Conference table shows Ventura County and North Texas atop the action with 22 points each. Though North Texas have played one less match, Austin at 11th, Real Monarchs in 13th. 3 points today puts either in a much more comfortable range for the playoff line. Austin, MLS Next Pro champs last year, trying to find that same sort of consistency. It's a roster with many different pieces in place. A look at the starting 11. First, the Real Monarchs, led by head coach Mark Lowry, who took over after Jamison Olave was elevated to the first team bench. Monarchs out in a 4-4-2, consistent all through this year along the back line with Silva, Farnsworth, Storley, and Omar Alba once more. Today's player to watch along the wing is 18-year-old Fidel Barajas. It's his first Next Pro appearance. He's become a regular in the first team lineup with 14 MLS appearances this year. In fact, he played well in 45 minutes last night. It's a great chance this evening to see what the Salt Lake striker has in store, following the footsteps of Diego Luna could do. More on that later. For Austin, former Inter Miami assistant Brett Utley leads the way. Austin will take a 4-3-3 shape today. Steve Lewis-Jean slides into the midfield for Alonso Ramirez for his first start since March. The Bosi Bairohanga's form has earned him a call-up Ugandan men's national team. He departs after this match to join the team for their FIFA World Cup qualifiers at home against Botswana and Algeria on June 7th and 10th. The photos for the socials being taken. Kelsey Harms is the referee this evening, assisted by Miles Crumley and Jared Mosher. Michael O'Reilly is the 4th official. It's a very pleasant summer evening in Utah. 80 degrees, no wind to speak of, no rain to speak of. Two clubs who feel they have much more to offer than what is reflected right now in the standings. And we will see them square off here this evening on the confines of the first team pitch outside Salt Lake. So from Lady Bird Lake in the Lone Star State to the supporters here in Sandy, South Jordan, in Salt Lake, and everywhere in between and outside, we welcome you to America First Stadium. It's a matchup on the first team pitch where many of these players hope to play much more often moving forward. Austin in the white kits this evening, moving from right to left to start off the match. All Salt Lake heading the opposite way. Glad to have you with us. MLS Next Pro action. AJ Ricketts with you here. Two teams looking to climb up the Western Conference table. Still miles and miles to go here in the regular season. Not the most ideal start for either club, but 3 points go a long way here moving forward and turning momentum around after 2 difficult losses for either side in match week 11. We're underway here in Utah as Real Monarchs play it 4 deep into the corner there, out for a goal kick. On the sideline for Austin, headman Brett Utley, who joined Austin in December of 2022. Former assistant at Inter Miami, began his coaching career collegiately at Quinnipiac in 2014. That was prior to joining the Seattle Sounders organization at the academy level in 2016. Also some USL experience, Brett Utley's name. As a player, competed professionally in Sweden. One of the bright, up-and-coming young coaches here in the MLS Next Pro ranks. Standing a few feet away from Utley tonight, guiding Real Monarchs, is Mark Lowry, who was announced as the head coach back in January. This is the 4th managerial spot for the England native. He guided Jacksonville Armada to an NASL championship back in 2017. Notable experience with El Paso Locomotive. He took them to the USL final in 2021. That's where he coached current Salt Lake standout Diego Luna. Spent a lot of time with Luna, who now is doing very well with the first team here in Salt Lake. Most recently, Lowry was the head man at Indy 11, so getting to the playoffs for the first time in a number of years. Touches for the back four here for Real Monarchs, who have been very consistent over the course of this season. Keller Storley, the team captain. This is being pushed forward here. Two strikers for Monarchs this evening, Matthew Bell and Aiden Hezarkhani. There's an early touch in a goal there for Aaron Cervantes, the 22-year-old who had 8 saves against LAFC. Did a great job to keep Austin in that match as long as they were in it before that late goal in stoppage time. That ball actually crossed the touchline here before Cervantes could boot it away, so this will be a corner kick for Real Monarchs. Play it short. Sent into the area along the near posts. A little bit too far for anyone to handle, and it trickles out of play. I mentioned Cervantes in goal for Austin. It's Fernando Delgado, the 17-year-old, on the other side of the pitch for Real Monarchs. 3 starts this season, does have a clean sheet and 3 goals against as well. He was recently loaned to Birmingham Legion, but it was a very short stint. He's back in Utah and has played the last couple of matches for the man Mark Lowry. Austin trying to work out of the back here. Able to push it forward to Irvin Torres, the 16-year-old starting the midfield today. And now pushing forward. Ruben Bonachera directs it near side. Here's Jimmy Farkaloon. Back to Bonachera. Nifty move, but a heavy touch around the 6 allowed it to be deflected away. Farkaloon trying to recover and tap it back to Torres. This will be a throw-in for Monarchs. Keep an eye on Jimmy Farkaloon around the near side today. The 22-year-old has been playing very well the last 3 matches. 2 goals and an assist in that stretch. So he gets the starting nod once again, trying to help Austin earn its first win since early May. Another throw in here for Monarchs on the far side. Tommy Silva, the 22-year-old from Tucson, throwing this back in. Alba, 20-year-old Panamanian, 9 starts, mostly at right back. Started the first 3 or 4 matches as a center back in that back 4 for Monarchs, but he spent more time along the right side throughout the past month and a half of play after a 2023 campaign where he started 21 matches. Good leadership along the back 4 from Alba as well as Storley. You talk about MLS Next Pro age and experience. You often see a lot of 16 to 19-year-olds. Everybody along that back 4 is at least 20. Out of play and a corner kick conceded by Austin. Already the second corner kick here for Monarchs. Played short once more. Burden trying to hold his own defensively there, and it does go Austin's way. Very close contest against LAFC for Austin last time out. I mentioned the 8 saves from Aaron Cervantes in that game. Sebastian Pinot, he had to struck the post in the 55th minute on a great shot from distance that nearly proved pivotal in that match. Farkaloon gave the Verde and Black the lead in the 82nd minute. Austin feeling really good about themselves. It was a brilliant individual sequence. And then moments later, conceding the tying goal in the 87th minute, thinking that's going to a shootout. And then in stoppage time, LAFC the game-winning goal. So going from thinking they had 3 points to conceding a pair of goals in less than 10 minutes. Austin, a heartbreaking loss last time out against LAFC, but looking to move forward. No easy task here on the road, despite where Monarchs are in the current standings. Talking with Monarchs head man Mark Lowry about this matchup. Mentioned Austin is a similar team to what Monarchs has presented this year, so they like to play out of the back just like us. They're brave with their style of play, and I very much respect that. He felt for his club heading into this match, they needed to continue to be positive with their build, sticking to the principles, how they play and support each other on the field, when to be available, the spaces they wanted to get into. And he referenced after that most recent loss, he said, when his players are coming off the pitch, at this point, it's more of an exasperation when they come off the field. They're not coming off laughing, but thinking, man, played well, did what we needed to do, executed in a lot of areas of play, but just didn't end up on the right side of the scoreboard. He was very positive, was head coach Mark Lowry, about their performance last week, said I cannot fault it in any way whatsoever. Coming off of a game at North Texas, just towards the top of the standings this year. Tried to insert that pass inside, intercepted. Still looking to clear it away. Mark Lowry said, we actually outplayed North Texas in every metric except goals scored, which obviously is certainly important, but this is a level looking for developments, consistency week in and week out. The goals, and that metric will come soon. Lowry felt they were the better team at North Texas. Now hoping to see that validated with a win on the score sheet. Sequence there from Austin to break a bit of pressure. And given away, Omar Alba read the pass. Here's Alba down the near side, looking to get a cross in. Tried to take an extra touch, but didn't have any more room to work with. He'll jog back towards his right back spot. Well done defensively by Ruben Bonachera, the 20-year-old Spaniard, making his 8th appearance of the season. It's given away by Torres. Monarchs trying to make something happen here. Barajas pushing to the far side. Silva had to give chase. It was a little bit too strong. Should be good fun watching Barajas today, the 18-year-old. 14 MLS appearances this year, 2 assists. Does have a goal in the U.S. Open Cup. 4 starts as well at the MLS level. But with the first team playing here on this pitch last night, a chance to get even more minutes moving forward. This is pushed to Farkaloon on the near side. A one-on-one with Storley. We got a foot in there, but it is a corner kick for Austin. Torres, the 16-year-old, making his 9th appearance of the season, will jog over to take the corner here for Austin. Torres became the 4th player from the Austin Academy to sign a professional contract with the club. He delivers the corner kick here. Torres cuts it towards the center, deflected out, well outside the 18. Cervantes near the center circle, boot it back towards the area. Alba does well to settle off his chest, and now Monarchs looking to move the other direction. Some good interplay in the midfield from Monarchs. Now on the far side, Barajas pushes it back. We'll look to switch. It's a good settle by Jockerson. To his left, had it dispossessed. A couple of players here in this Monarchs lineup with MLS experience and aspirations moving forward. Berton Jockerson, the 23-year-old, another one of those, 16th pick of the 2023 draft. He's been working his way back from injury for the first part of this season. Foul there, keep it with Monarchs. Jockerson said at the end of last year he had an opportunity to go to the Dutch second division on loan. He made the decision to return to Utah. He wanted to commit fully to try to break into the first team over the course of this year. And that injury process certainly making that aspiration a little bit more long-winded, but plenty of potential for the 23-year-old. We'll look to make an impact here today against this Austin side. As Arcani sedans on the ball. As Arcani loops it in, headed away. Nearly 15 minutes into this match. Get the sense both teams still trying to grow into the game here a little bit. No shots for either side. No real chances developed either. Bit of a possession advantage for Monarchs, 60-40. 16-6 edge and passes in the final third as well. Nothing too concerning defensively for either side yet, 14 plus minutes in. Deflected, it's coming to the near side now, headed centrally. Looped high in the air. Monarchs were first to head it, but into the arms of Cervantes, no problem. Monarchs coming off that 2-1 loss to North Texas. North Texas scored in the 36th minutes to take the lead in that game. Nice response from Monarchs after that. Iskandarian, who come off the bench today, scored just 4 minutes after that 36th-minute goal from North Texas. The home side scoring early in the second half, a 53rd minute goal, and that was enough for North Texas to claim 3 points at home. But again, no shame in the way that Monarchs played, even the results against the North Texas side that's having a resurgent 2024 campaign after having all sorts of issues last year, particularly on the defensive end. Another 3 points for North Texas. Monarchs looking to figure things out here today as Alba chips it forward. Ambitious run by Jockerson will not allow him to catch up to it. Tell you what, America First Field was a party last night. It's a 5-1 win over Austin in a matchup between the two first-team clubs for these organizations. Salt Lake now unbeaten in their last 13. It's a dominating performance from head coach Pablo Mastroeni's side. Salt Lake outshot Austin 21-8. Their star striker, Christian Arango, had himself a hat trick. You know, this very well may be, as this is taken away near midfield. Hold on a moment. as Arcani trying to find some space. Navigates around a pair of defenders. Arcani from long range off target, but that's the first shot of the match. 16 minutes in. This portion of today's match brought to you by Intermountain Health, the power of we. This very well may be the best Real Salt Lake team we've seen in club history, right? The dominance up front from Arango has been accompanied by great production from Andres Gomez, 8 goals, 6 assists. The foul committed by Austin here. There's 20-year-old Diego Luna, who's spent time in Next Pro. He has 3 goals, 3 assists this year. I mean, Anderson Julio had a brace in the first half last night. You look back at Salt Lake, the 09 team won the MLS Cup, but they had a losing record in the regular season, only made the playoffs on a tiebreaker. 2012, Salt Lake finished with 57 points. That was second in the West. 2013, certainly a memorable year, making the Open Cup and MLS Cup final. But I'll tell you what, the firepower and capability the club is displaying right now has caught the attention of the league. On the near side here, Jacquesin trying to send it in, recycled, he'll push it back. Alba will survey. And the commitment from this first team, the $17 million invested over the last 3 transfer windows. They could open up a designated player spot this summer too. Keep an eye on Real Salt Lake at the MLS level this year. They are very much in the conversation for the Supporters' Shields and of course the MLS Cup moving forward after that. It's a very competitive and crowded spectrum the top, along with LAFC as well, how well they're playing. Inter Miami and FC Cincinnati in the East. Salt Lake certainly in the conversation here. Jacquesin dispossessed. Farkaloo, one-touch pass, and Austin will try to get something set up out of the back here. Now Farkaloo, one-on-one. For some support, Farkaloo goes down. I think that is a whistle on Alba. So the foul on Alba, and Austin will have a free kick here in an interesting position. For their first shot of the match, Irvin Torres will take the free kick. 6 Austin players around the edge of the area here trying to time their run, delivered in. And, well, more Monarch jerseys around the ball. Last week in the first half against Los Angeles, 3 shots, 0.51 expected goals for Austin. Didn't have any shots on target. Nothing to speak of too threatening here in 20 minutes. Storley will push it over to Delgado. Front 3 of Micah Burden, Sebastian Pinot, Jimmy Farkaloo for Austin here today. Burden has put himself in dangerous positions all season long. Still searching for his first goal of the year, though, in what is his 9th appearance. Made 24 appearances, 14 starts last year, and had a pair of goals. Austin's last win early May on the road at Colorado in what was a 2-1 victory. Since then, a 2-1 loss at St. Louis, a 2-2 draw with Sporting Kansas City. They did take 2 points with the shootout win from that match. And then, as noted, the 2-1 loss most recently. That was in Austin to LAFC. Wolf's pass was intercepted there a moment ago. Monarchs going to push upfield. Inside the area, Barajas clipped back. Alba. Farnsworth. Over to Tommy Silva. Silva delivers it in, just a little bit too strong for Matthew Bell to try to handle, but it does trickle over to Jacquesin. Towards the touchline here. Dangerous ball, and Real Monarchs have scored! Matthew Bell puts Real Monarchs on the board. A beautiful interplay near the touchline. And Monarchs take a 1-0 lead. Watch that pass right there. Just catches Austin off guard. And from there, it's a tap-in for Matthew Bell, who very nonchalantly celebrates that goal. Terrific assists as well from Noel Kaliskan. 1-0 to Real Monarchs. Talking with Mark Lowry. Wasn't quite sure how the lineup was going to shake out with who was playing in the first team game last night, who might have been on the bench, but he did say we're probably going to rely on Matthew Bell. He's been playing well. We've been relying on him a bit more. He rotated out last weekend, so we're going to rely on him here today. Second goal of the season for Bell, the former Marshall man from Kingston, Jamaica. Entered this match with 1 goal and 1 assist in 8 appearances in MLS Next Pro this season. Both of those took place against Vancouver on March 23rd. Farkaloon around the defense. Pinot, a heavy touch. Delgado diving and has it with no problem. We've seen Farkaloon involved heavily along the near side for the first 20-plus minutes, but not too many touches for Pinot or Burton in the middle or far side flank. Trying to get more involved over the course of this match and grow into the game. Alba downfield, near side. Cervantes will let it roll. This portion of this evening's match is presented by America First, the official credit union of Real Salt Lake. America First has game-changing solutions for every financial need. So join the winning team today at americafirst.com. Those who followed Matthew Bell collegiately will not be surprised to see his success moving forward. He was the 16th pick in this most recent draft out of Marshall. A Mack Herman Trophy semifinalist that's given to the top player in college soccer year in and year out. He had just completed his sophomore year at Marshall and earned Sun Belt Conference Offensive Player of the Year honors, 10 goals, 12 assists. He was just the second player in program history at Marshall to register multiple 10-goal campaigns. And if you're unfamiliar with collegiate soccer, Marshall won a national championship a couple seasons ago. A very formidable collegiate program. Farkaloon thought he was off to the races, but the flag is up. Really impressed with the options and different players to rotate in and out of the lineup that Monarchs have. We certainly don't expect to see Fidel Barajas all that much. I know he's 18 years old, but he's got a future at the MLS level or potentially elsewhere. Obviously, we'll see what happens with the career of Barajas, who's very excited to be in Salt Lake at the moment. But whether it's Bell, as provides pressure here, trying to make things a little interesting along the back, still giving chase. Whether it's Bell or Iskandarian, Darren Iskandarian, the 21-year-old who scored the goal last week against North Texas. Damian Barker-John, another highly touted draft pick. He came out of the University of Louisville. There's some options here for Mark Lowry. Today up front, it's Bell and Hezarkhani, who has also scored once in the 5 matches he's played this year. Monarchs have some Good options and young players in the system right now they're developing. And Bell, the most recent, to put himself on the scoreboard. This is good here from Austin. There's Babosi Barahanga a moment ago with the touch along the far side. Heading out very soon after this for that FIFA World Cup qualifier for Uganda. Jacqueline stepped in the passing lane. Bell trying to find the through ball to Barajas. Tracking back well was Barahanga. Austin just have not had much to work with today. Still searching for their first shot nearly half an hour in. Jimmy Farkaloon, it's felt like he's had a couple of moments to potentially try to advance forward with or create dangerous opportunities, but they have not resulted in anything formidable in the end. Bonachera. Better. Farkaloon will look to settle. His touch let him down in the end. I asked Mark Lowry of Monarchs, despite these last couple losses, what can you build on moving forward? And he said, he literally referenced our build up front. From the back through the front is superb. He said it's the best in the league, how methodical and intentional we are in those moments. Felt they broke North Texas's press at will, and we're on the back five probably 30 or 40 times over the course of that game. He feels his club is exceptional at getting into the final third and dealing with pressure. They've had a few problems to speak up today, although this is an Austin club that relies more on building out of the back themselves. They're not similar to how North Texas will play, extending their front line, providing pressure throughout the course of the match, not at least to the extent that North Texas did. How comfortable have Monarchs looked over the course of this first half hour? Too much stress to contend with. You love the confidence and also the mentality too from Mark Lowry. He doesn't approach this or view where Real Monarchs is in the table as a reflection of the potential this club has, and not just the potential, but the execution as well, as a foul called on Austin here. Sitting 13th in the table, but saying, look, our buildup is best in the league. There's so much confidence in what Monarchs have been able to put together this year. And yes, you would love to see that validated with more wins and more three-point efforts. It certainly feels that that is due the way that Monarchs have been playing. It's reflected in the scoreline right now. Jacqueline trying to carve his way to the outside. Throw in here for Monarchs. Attacking from the far side here. Barajas just wide. Nearly a brilliant effort from the top of the area there. Cervantes had to dive to be sure. But he stepped up, and Barajas, with a tremendous effort, was claiming for a touch initially, but it is over to Austin. Barajas was named to the MLS Matchday starting 11 for Matchday 6 after a second half comeback win in Vancouver, and an assist in that comeback win. Really impressive season at the USL level last year with Charleston Battery. He was the USL Young Player of the Year and All-League second team. Taking his talents here to the next pro level today, but mostly the MLS level. Barajas or to Alba. It's like Austin's treading water at the moment, was just inches away from this becoming a 2-0 game. No offense to speak of. Perhaps we'll see some adjustments moving forward through the second half. Foul there on Storley. Wellings, I beg your pardon. This portion of the match brought to you by Zion's Bank, official bank of Real Monarchs. Gavin Wolf will jog up to take the kick. 15-year-olds. He's called up to the U.S. U15s last year. First MLS Next Pro appearance this year for Wolf, coming up from the academy. He'll deliver it deep. Alba heads it away for a throw. Austin, you've got a little bit more than 10 minutes to try to develop something positive before heading to the locker rooms. Sent back into their own half here. There's been a couple of positive moments to speak of along the near side with Farkaloon and his runs and movements along the left flank. You see them targeting Farkaloon again here. The flag is up once again. It's the second time it's been up with Farkaloon, the intended target of the distribution. Goals in back-to-back games for Farkaloon, and assist against City 2 before that. Real Monarchs have had a solid game plan for him, drawn him offside twice. Just getting a little bit out of sorts here. It's a whistle on Torres. Played well by DeAndre, that right back spot, reading the pass. Another diagonal ball. Farkaloon does well to head it forward. One-on-one with Alba here. Farkaloon goes down, no whistle. Omar Alba stands his ground defensively there. Farkaloon did real well with the initial touch on the header to send it forward. Good recovery speed there from Alba. It looks like Farkaloon had the angle, and if he was able to cut Alba off there, it may have been one-on-one with Delgado in goal. Alba got to his hip and a step in front. Farkaloon eventually going down, unimpeded in the box. Jacqueson in the attacking third. Jacqueson laying it off here. Barajas with the left foot. Oh, Barajas! That's incredible. It's 2-0. You see why Salt Lake is so high on this young 18-year-old. How routine did that look? Settles, shifts left, goal. Fidel Barajas in his first appearance with Next Pro, because of how much of a mainstay he is with the first team already, showing the skill. 2-0 here in Utah. Now smooth was that? You know, Barajas' pathway may very well remind a lot of Salt Lake fans of one of the current first-team standouts, Diego Luna, who also excelled in the USL. They both had their most productive season in that league at the age of 17. Both of their ability to stand out in what is an older, more veteran league, the physical challenges that they had no problem with. Barajas, he's well aware of that connection. He calls Luna his idol. Says he was following him before the U20 World Cup and when Luna was with El Paso with Mark Lowry, of course, the head coach now here in Utah. I really think the comparison between these two is a legitimate one. As Alba, again defensively, nice tackle, Farkaloon goes down. He's holding his right leg. There are a lot of fascinating similarities between both Luna and Barajas. Both are from Northern California. Both were in the San Jose Earthquakes Academy. Both left at an early age to join the USL and now part of the Salt Lake organization. You can see the tackle again there. Alba and Farkaloon have been going at it all throughout the first half. Farkaloon looks to be okay. This club really values Barajas' ability to play on either wing, operate in the half spaces, make teams pay in transition. And I think it's important to remember as well just the maturity. This is a player who moved from California to South Carolina at 16 years old to play against many players who are twice his age, and he showed no issues with that. Only excelled. He thrived at that level. As this is delivered in, headed away. Pablo Mastroeni, first team head coach here in Salt Lake, said you never know how a player is going to come in when he goes up a level. Just like Diego, there's certainly going to be some tough moments, but for me, he's really showed the way he carries himself. Barajas on the ball again, goes near side, has Arcani being challenged. Play it back. Chopping challenge there, and a whistle as Pinot committed the foul. Pinot's also going to be given a yellow for that infraction. Free kick here. Not a bad spot to take one. Just about 30 yards away. Barajas and Jacqueson on the ball. Jacqueson straight into the wall. This is really as ideal a half as you could ask for Real Monarchs. They've controlled the tempo and tenor of this game. They have not allowed a shot from Austin. 2 goals, they've already outscored last week's total. And it certainly feels like there may be more in the cards for Mark Lowry's squad if they continue this pace. Pressure here now from Austin. And you see what Mark Lowry was talking about. Monarchs completely unfazed by that in that moment at the token pressure from Austin. And now setting up their builds around the midfields. Alba. And right back to Monarchs and has Arcani. Calling for it, stayed on side. crosses it in. Corner kick. Arcani to take the corner for Monarchs. Delivers a ball in, far post, and out of play. Mentioned the pieces that Mark Lowry has at his disposal with Monarchs this year. The players he still has, he could insert off the bench today, whether it's Iskandarian or Damian Barker-John. We haven't even talked about Xavier Gozo, who's had first team experience himself. Has been a player that Lowry has been looking to get into the rotation at the next pro level over the course of this year. Xavier Gozo has been a big goal scorer for Monarchs here this season. He's not even listed in the lineup today. He was on the bench last night for the first team. Farkaloon trying to get around Alba. He does this time, shifting right. Recovery there from Monarchs. Farkaloon gives off to Burden. Threat extinguished for the moment. And out of play. It was one of the few times Farkaloon was able to navigate around Omar Alba. Recovery and communication of that back line. The midfielders coming back to provide some support. Communication and the chemistry developing game after game with this back four in the midfield. Silva, 22 years old, Farnsworth, 21, Storley, 22, Omar Alba, 20. You know, if I'm a 17-year-old keeper in goal, that's exactly the kind of back four that I want. Experience, physicality, and consistency along that back four to help Delgado out, young player in goal for Real Monarchs. Be 2 minutes of stoppage time here momentarily to conclude the first half. Bell, the goal scorer. Jacquesin going inside around Farkaloon. Thought he was about to dribble by 3 defensive players there. Made his way around 2 of them. Foul on Monarchs. Is Arcani getting a little too physical there? No doubt this has been a frustrating first half, discouraging from an Austin perspective. Some valiant efforts to try to get Farkaloon involved on the near side, but really nothing else to speak of. See, even there, Farkaloon with the right idea, hard time executing. Foul there on Austin as well in the final moments here of the first half. Farkaloon trying to plead his case with Kelsey Harms on a point of contention. Five shots taken by Monarchs here in the first half. They've outshot Austin 5-0. slight possession advantage. 7-3 advantage in touches in the opponent's box. 19-14 in final third entries. Plenty of time for Austin to make this right. They've got some things to figure out here in half number 2. Not been able to put things together in their build-up. One final chance here before the whistle blows for the first half. Play. That pass takes Bonachera a little backwards. Easily covered by Jockwison. And that will signal the end of the first half. Everything Real Monarchs could have asked for. 2-goal advantage. A goal from one of their young MLS stars, Fidel Barajas. Blossoming stars, we should say, and it's a 2-0 lead at the half. Contributions from Matthew Bell and Fidel Barajas. 2-0 to Real Monarchs here at America First Stadium in Sandy, Utah. Coming up, Michelle brings us the report from our newest Next Pro venue. When we come back, stay with us here for MLS Next Pro action.
Messi! La pelota para que quede. Contact and a shot goal. Mamita querida, qué golazo. Magnifique frappe. Really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol. Para Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Fuerza. Al frente. Servicio. El tiro. Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área le pega, golazo. Amor al gol. Parte externa, va a definir Chicho.
Vamos, dale pues, vamos allá, muévete más loco como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, con las manos en la cabeza, sacúdete, sacúdete, mira, sacúdete.
Welcome back. Our score at the half. It's Real Monarchs who have put together a dominating performance through 45 minutes. 2-0 on their home pitch here at America First Field. Michelle Montaigne is on site in High Point this week to sum up Match Day 11 and the month of May in this latest edition of the report.
Florio Chateau has it. He shoots. He scores. Here comes the shot, and it's in.
The report is coming to you this week from the home of Carolina Core. Hard to believe, but we are nearly a third of the way through the 2024 season and the momentum continues to build. I'm Michelle Montaigne joining you this week from the newly renovated Truist Point Stadium. Now, match week 11 saw a total of 45 goals scored, but none were more impressive than the 4 we're about to show you. Let's start off with Peter Sudan's free kick for Chicago Fire 2 that beat the Crew 2 goalkeeper. Then we have Adrian Wibowo scoring a stoppage time winner for LAFC 2 over the defending champs, Austin FC 2. Match Week 11's Player of the Week, Yutaro Sakata, also scored via a free kick in OCB's 5-0 win over Huntsville City FC. And the last nominee of the match week was Union 2's David Vasquez, whose curling free kick helped his team defeat Red Bulls 2. So why are we emphasizing those last two? Well, it turns out that David Vasquez edging out Yutaro Sakata by less than 2% is one of the tightest margins in goal of the match week poll history. After scoring those incredible goals, we heard from both players following their respective matches.
First and foremost, I mean, it was a great team effort today. Happy to get the 3 points away on the road, as well as happy to get 2 goals on the score sheet. Couldn't have had one more, but you know, it is what it is. We move and you know, we focus on the next game.
I had a confidence with the free kicks because I've been scoring 2 so far. So I had a confidence and then I just needed to smash it and then it go well, so I'm so happy with that.
So, a lot's changed since names like Roy Lassiter were using balls like this to score goals like that. What hasn't changed, though, is each team's desire to be at the top of their conference. Right now in the East, that battle's heating up between Philadelphia Union 2 and Chattanooga FC. Jesus Ibarra continues to lead the way for the boys in blue. He netted his 5th goal of the season off a perfectly placed header in the 87th minute to give CFC a late lead. However, a stoppage time PK from Javier Armas leveled this one at 2 apiece. Despite their shootout win, Chattanooga FC misses out on the critical 3rd point, allowing Union 2 to remain in sole first place in a tight Eastern Conference race through match week 11. FC Cincinnati 2 took a 5-game win streak into their May finale, dropping a 1-0 decision to Miami, but nonetheless rocketing them up to 3rd in the East. And while the East is bringing the heat, it's an even tighter race in the West. North Texas SC is the lone team in the Western Conference with only 1 loss on the season, positioning them in first place after 11 rounds. Meanwhile, LAFC 2 and St. Louis City 2 both sit with identical 6-2-2 records on the season, but have yet to face each other. Guys, the fact that North Texas SC finds themselves on top of the West is an incredible feat at this point in the season, because just 8 weeks ago, they found themselves in 8th place in the West. So safe to say, the month of May was good to them. And you know what else they say? April showers bring May flowers. And with the end of the month comes our monthly awards. It's time to give our monthly award winners their flowers. We mentioned North Texas SC at the top of the standings. Well, that's in large part thanks to stellar keeper play from Michael Collodi. May's goalkeeper of the month registered 4 starts in 4 matches during the month, notching 15 saves and 1 clean sheet. Collodi's coach, John Gall, felt like his recognition was pretty fitting.
He's just his positive mentality, his drive, his desire, all those things that you want in a leader. He's positive to his teammates, he squeezes when he needs to. He's very courageous and he leads by great example. And like I said, I mean, I've been around Michael for a long time through the academy, and it's just a privilege to work with him. And I knew that when we were going to get him beginning of the season, I knew who we were going to get. You know, a great competitor, a great kid, and somebody that's going to uplift the team. And certainly he's done that, and I'm just really happy that the league has recognized him for all of his efforts.
And in the East, after Philly finished May with 3 straight wins and a league-leading 23 points, they were awarded May's Team of the Month. During the run, Union 2 outscored their opponents 10-2 while seeing goals from 7 different contributors. Head coach Marlon LeBlanc attributed the success to one thing.
It's a really nice recognition to the work that the guys have put in to start the season. It's a fun group to work with. They work extremely hard, and we have a staff that matches that fun and that hard work for that group. And look, I think it's early in the year. We're happy to be the team of the month, and certainly the guys have gone out every single week and they've earned that recognition, and we're just looking forward to continually doing it month after month.
Another team who had a solid month saw 2 of their club representatives bring home monthly recognition. FC Cincinnati 2 head coach Tyrone Marshall brought home Skipper of the Month, while Academy player Stefan Chirilla was named Rising Star. Their efforts together helped Cincy to a 2nd straight month, winning 3 of their 4 matches. You know who else's efforts led to wins? That would be our Player of the Month, Orlando City Bees' Yutaro Sakata. He finished the month scoring 3 goals and adding 2 assists in 3 appearances for OCB. So through the first 3 months, 15 different winners have earned monthly honors, with only Union 2's Eddie Davis being a repeat winner. That just goes to show you the parity across the league. And the monthly award winners keep their teams climbing in the power rankings. After a solid Team of the Month performance in May, Philadelphia Union 2 stays strong in the #1 spot for the second straight week. But in second place, chasing them, is Chattanooga FC. Out west, you have LAFC 2, North Texas SC, and Ventura County FC rounding out our top 5. For the full list of our power rankings, you can visit our website at MLSnextPro.com. Guys, the firsts keep coming, the league keeps growing, and the games keep getting better. That does it for this episode of The Report. For now, me and the Fox are saying so long to our friends from High Point, North Carolina.
Vamos, dale pues, mamá ya, muerte. Más loco, mozo, lo tuyo, sabe, así es. Con las manos en la cabeza, sacúdete, sacúdete, mira, sacúdete.
Messi! Levanta la pelota para que quede. It's contact, got a shot, goal! ¡Mamita querida, qué golazo! Papite, magnifique frappe! Really, really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol! Para Maxi Mesa para pegarle, Maxi le pegó. Huerta, Andretti, servicio, el tiro. Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área le pega, golazo. Amor al gol. Parte externa, va a definir Chicho.
All right, MLS store, I need something fresh and clean. Let's see what you got. I need that in my size. It's not like this. Cream on cream? The fit is cold. I'm ice cream. You like that?
Welcome back to America First Stadium, halftime in Utah. Real Monarchs have controlled this one from the outsets. 2-0 over Austin FC. We're trying to figure some things out moving forward here in the second half. We take a look at first half highlights. Glad to have you with us as part of MLS Season Pass. I'm AJ Ricketts. These highlights will contain no shots of Austin shots. They had 0, nothing to speak of. Real Monarchs had 5. This was the first. Took 15 plus minutes to get to that point. A couple corners and set pieces for Austin. Nothing really truly dangerous to speak of. Here's the first goal. That touch to the touchline. And Matthew Bell has one of the easiest finishes of all season long after the terrific pass from Ezra. Pinot tried to get involved. Delgado was ready in that moment. This was a blast from Barajas, who would find the net not that much long later. Omar Alba, terrific job on Farkaloo. Went down in that particular chance. Watch Barajas here, going to his left. Right over the keeper. That's class. Farkaloo and Alba again, they've been battling. Both clean challenges from Alba on the highlights. He's had the upper hand in that matchup thus far. See a Farkaloo there's anything to say about it, the second half here. But zeros where you don't want zeros for Austin. And a 2-0 lead for Real Monarchs. Controlled the pace of this match. Also an advantage in touches in the opponent's box. Final third entries. Possession fairly even between the two teams. No shots taken. Farkland close on a couple of occasions for Austin. See if Brett Utley's side can put things together here in the second half. Surely they will be more aggressive and assertive here in half number 2 as we take a look at some of the score lines from this weekend. It's an action-packed Sunday here in MLS Next Pro. Last night, Carolina Core at last got to have their first ever game at Truist Park. Huntsville spoiled the party. Huntsville needed that win. First of the season for the Alabama side. Cool to see, very neat to see Eddie Pope, Roy Lassiter's side have their home debut at Truist Park. They play the first 2.5 months of the season on the road. Carolina Core has a lot of nice young pieces. A tough day in their home debut yesterday. Austin huddles. I do feel it will be interesting to see the kind of aggressiveness and spirit that this Texas side comes out with.
Tell them to turn bars off on mine. Somebody turn bars on. Yeah, somebody turn bars on mine.
Technical difficulties at the moment, trying to get those sorted out here.
Got it. Never mind. I got it.
There we go.
Sorry about that, guys.
All is well. Didn't even miss the kickoff. But yes, what kind of spirit will Austin come out with here? Certainly was not for lack of any effort there in the first half. You saw the ideas and the creativity they were trying to employ. Monarchs were ready. Give Omar Alba a lot of credit in that first half for his work on Jimmy Farkaloon defensively. Pinot's operating on a yellow card as well here in the second half. So a 2-0 lead for Real Monarchs out of the locker room. Looking to really put the nail in the coffin here with an early second half goal.
Hey, Pedro, are you still seeing that white ghosting?
Matthew Bell turning here. It's a brilliant turn, great save, and it was nearly 3-0 there. Bell was searching for his second. Cervantes punching it away. Optimistic start here for Monarchs here in half number 2. Here's Farkaloon now. Looking to create. That dispossessed. Frustrations continue there. 3 substitutes out of the locker room for Real Monarchs. We've got Darren Iskandarian, the goal scorer from the North Texas match, who's in. Bobby Pierre as well in the Louisville product. Damian Barker-John. So Mark Lowry going to the bench. Barajas, his day is finished. Omar Alba comes off. And Caliscan to the bench as well. Excuse me, Hezarkhani, not Caliscan. So with Alba out, we'll see if Jimmy Farkaloon may have any more success. Pierre pushes it near side. to Bell. Chase it down. Bell notched his second goal this season at the start of this one. A little off target here on that cross. Bobby Pierre, the longest tenured Monarchs player, Haitian center back, went off his Defensive Player of the Year honors with the club. Iskandarian, the 21-year-olds. 2 goals and an assist this year. 1 goal, 1 assist this year, I should say. And then Barker John, 19-year-old out of Louisville. 2 goals this season. That was on a brace against Vancouver. A humbling night on this very pitch yesterday for Austin FC. 5-1 defeat to Real Salt Lake. It was 4-0 heading into the dressing room. One of those goals from across midfield. To be fair, Austin was on 2 days rest without their star player, Sebastian Driussi. So now they'll have a 2-week break to try to reset before playing at Colorado on June 15th. As Austin getting some pressure here to Monarchs. This is where they thrive, but really up against the wall. Austin has to try on the occasions which they can. As Barker John settles. Interesting start to the season for the first team club right now in Austin. 23 points, 6th place in the West, so above the playoff line, but just 3 points ahead of 9th place Portland. Now, this will be a season in which the summer signings, good turn there, Iskandarian tried to whip it forward, it's taken away. So the summer signings and additions, that will determine a lot for Austin. They recently announced a designated player signing, and Ghana's international winger Osman Bukhari will come in from Red Star Belgrade soon. Brad Stuvers had a tough one in net yesterday, but he had been terrific the first 16 or so matches of this year and is in the MLS All-Star conversation. There are issues for this Austin club. Just 1 win on the road, thin roster at times, but what is exciting about that group is how formidable they may become once all their pieces and signings get healthy, have a month or 2 together. What can Josh Wolf's club do in the final couple months of the season following the All-Star break, and once they get another DP in there and some summer signings? They need to play better on the road, no doubt about it. Last night, evidence of that. Playing on 2 days rest can be a challenge even for the top-notch clubs, and Austin will be better moving forward. Here. Make a run here was Pinot. Easily dealt with by Monarchs. They're out of play for a throw.
Hey Pedro, does that ghost thing still look like it's there?
Don't want to belabor the point, but Austin's still searching for that first shot attempt. Now 50 plus minutes into the match. And I mentioned there were no shots on the highlight. There were a couple of sequences where Austin was starting to threaten. Pinot, Farkaloon in the box. Did not result in a shot taken, so it's currently 6-0 in that department for Austin. Farkaloon trying to make it 4 straight matches with either a goal or an assist as Delgado gives this over to Farnsworth. And a foul on Torres. Brett Utley did not use any substitutes down to the halftime break. 3 again for Real Monarchs, and Iskandarian, Pierre, and Barker John, Barajas, Alba, and Zakani to the bench. And pass just off the mark to Storley. Barahanga will play it back. You evaluate the 2 goals that Cervantes conceded. The first one right at the mouth of goal. Really hard to ask him to be able to stay in front of that one off the terrific pass. It was a tap-in for Matthew Bell. That was more an issue along the back 4 and allowing that entry pass into the box to be unimpeded. Second one got right over the top of them. You just have to nod your head to the moment of brilliance. Matthew Bell will fire, and that's sent over the bar. Almost a second kind of similar goal there, going right over the top of Cervantes at the spot he was. It did not have to touch it over. That was a bit too high. We've had the discussion today about the options that Mark Lowry has at the next pro level. Well, how about Pablo Mastroeni and the young pieces that are starting to round into better form on the first team level? Well, obviously, what Chicho Arango is doing has opened the way, whether it's for Gomez or Diego Luna, but now you talk about maybe Xavier Gozo inserting himself down the road. Barajas obviously hasn't scored at the MLS level, and MLS competition did have a goal in the Open Cup. It's going to be due for some positive moments here soon. Monarchs at the top of the West. Things are rolling right now here in Salt Lake. Next pro team would like to see some of that success. That's a giveaway. Farkaloon goes down just outside the 18. Free kick and a dangerous spot upcoming here for Austin.
Sorry about that.
Farkaloon immediately excelling forward after the giveaway. Was a bit of contact on that initial run of play. And now surely here, Austin will gather its first shot attempt. A yellow card is given. That goes on Pierre. So Pierre picks up the yellow. Looks like Farkaloon getting sent to take this. Former Houston Christian and Texas RGV man. Six minutes in, 2-0 Real Monarchs. Farkaloon shoots and it's too high. Stares at the spot where it sailed over for a moment or two after. Thrilled with where that ended up. 56 minutes in, Austin have its first shot. Far sideline here. No whistle. Jacquesin looking for some support. Nifty move there by Jacquesin. Shoots, scores! Real Monarchs with a third. Incredible individual effort from Jacquesin here. Along the far side, support comes. It's Iskandarian there centrally with the tap-in. He'll be credited with the goal, but give Jacquesin so much credit for the effort to make that possible. Iskandarian has now scored in back-to-back matches. It's 3-0 Real Monarchs. How good is that? Lowry's club is in some sort of rhythm right now. 2 of the 3 goals today on just terrific passes from the touchline. Put yourself in an advantageous spot. You'll be rewarded today if you're on Monarchs. The distribution has been there. Bell was the recipient of the first from Hezarkhani. And then Jacqueline does terrific work to ensure that Iskandarian has goals in back-to-back matches. Talking with Mark Lowry a couple days ago, he said, I can't ask anything more from a soccer standpoint from the players because they're doing so well. I'm just asking our players, it's 24 hours a day, and whether you're in a gym, at home, waking up, or at training, just try to find ways to get 1% better. That might be going to bed earlier, drinking a little more water, reading a book rather than scrolling through social media on your phone. He says, I can't ask for anything more soccer-wise. Just whatever you're doing, get a little bit better. Maybe that turns a 2-1 loss into a 2-1 win, or 1-1 draw becomes a win. Challenging them now as human beings to try to find 1% gains elsewhere. It doesn't need to be football related. That's translating right now. This portion of the match brought to you by Intermountain Health, the power of we. Looking at Austin, this club, of course, aspirations once again to reach the top of MLS Next Pro as they did last year, Cup champions after that 3-1 win over Crew 2, denying Columbus back-to-back championships. As we're seeing Monarchs break the pressure once again, continuing to deal with that very efficiently. Incredible through ball here. Damian Barker-John looking to finish, trying to tap it forward, and Cervantes gets the intervention. That would have been something on the build-up from the back. That is exactly what Mark Lowry has been talking about. They are comfortable and thrive in those moments. Damian Barker-John nearly made it 4-0. It was the right move. There were 4 white jerseys around Iskandarian, who was trying to cut. It's around where the penalty spot is. So Barker-John going towards goal. That was the play there. Matthew Bell trying to help out Cervantes. Just needing to be stretched out here for a moment. We're talking about Austin. There are plenty of returners to this roster, but a major part, of course, of Next Pro, the development of players, the movement of them to the first team club, or success that elicits other opportunities. And so with all the positive things coming out of Austin too last year, that generated some change. A lot of the pieces of that title run are elsewhere, as this corner kick swinger headed out of play. Cristo Vela is with FC Cancun. Damian Loss, who is Next Pro Goalkeeper of the Year, is on loan with Lou City in the USL. Valentin Noel, notable departure. He had 8 goals last year, was the MVP of the title game. He transferred to Las Vegas. So this season, Austin are seeing players in different roles, testing out their academy products. Micah Burden has put himself in dangerous positions all season long, still searching for that first goal. Farkaloon, who's been heavily involved tonight, a bit more professional experience at 22 years of age. All the positive moments the last few weeks we talked about. He may be starting to put things together. Austin made a name for themselves with the production at this level last year. Been a bit slower of a start this year. That's understandable with the change that they've had. And you know what? The target on their backs as well as champions, the natural inclination of their opponents to try to take down the defending champs. They love to get back in the win column today. That has not been the case. Very start. Parker John got there first. Here's the Louisville product. Central, Bell, ooh, just wide of the post. That close to a brace. There was open space along the left side there. Was trying to avoid the two center backs though as well. Bell claiming there was a touch. There will be a goal kick. Another sub here. Jude Wellings will take a seat after an hour plus of action. Izahi Amparo into the match for Wellings for a substitution. Real Monarchs, the Yuma, Arizona native, taking the pitch. Debut season in Next Pro. Here's Bell trying to play it through to Parker John. Physical challenge. Whistle blows this dead for a moment. A yellow card will be given to Bell. Too much there. Even in the loss last week, Austin still put 11 shots to their name. 2 on target, 0.87 expected goals. They're being outshot right now 11-1. 0.09 expected goals. An uncharacteristic afternoon for this Austin side. It was looking to bounce back from a gutting loss, stoppage time goal, following 2-1 in a game in which they led in the 83rd minutes. Silva triggers it into Iskandarian. He is fouled. It's hard to tell, even on the replay, if Iskandarian didn't tap it in, if that would have gone across the mouth of goal and still rolled in. You're taught to put that one in, do not leave it to chance. I don't think it was a situation of taking a goal at all. It was a brilliant assist. There was a defender in the area too, who would have loved to clear it away, so Iskandarian made sure that that did not happen. It's a young goal scorer. Back-to-back matches now in the goal column for Iskandarian. Iskandarian joined the club midway through the 2023 campaign. 13 appearances last year. 2 goals and 2 assists. He's already matched last year's goal total. Acquired from Las Vegas Lights, USL. Providing pressure right here. Cervantes goes to the near side. Deonda, pressured by Silva, goes down. Foul committed. You can tell for a moment in the sunlight if referee Kelsey Harms was holding up a card or just a whistle. It is just a whistle. This portion of the match brought to you by America First, the official credit union of Real Salt Lake. America First has game-changing solutions for every financial need, so join the winning team today at americafirst.com. Tommy Silva to take the free kick. Play arcing, back post, headed centrally. Like Storley got his head to it. Was trying to redirect it back to a teammate. He may have had an opportunity to try to guide that towards goal. Jacqueline looking to pick up another assist. Clips this centrally, just too strong for Iskandarian. Silva towards the center. Left-footed strike, and the tap-in! 4-0! Matt Bell rings in another. He has 2 goals this afternoon. Real Monarchs is rolling. What a game. It felt like at some point in this sequence, Monarchs was going to find the net. It nearly was right here. Bell, right place, right time. And Paro doesn't get the goal, but Bell does. 2 of them for Bell, 4 for Monarchs. And his Salt Lake club is taking out some frustration from the month of May out on Austin. This is what Bell did at Marshall. No surprise to fans of the Thundering Herd. Only pride in their former Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year. Barajas, who played in the first half, he's already contributing at the MLS level. Maybe Matt Bell is one to do that here soon. He plays the kind of productivity and finishing that he had today. In the end, neither goal was a particularly high degree of difficulty, but he put himself in the right spots and pounced on his opportunities. 20 minutes to play here. Austin trying to get a consolation goal at some point, just as they did last night late in the, it was a 5-0 game, got a penalty. The first team level, Salt Lake and LAFC atop the Western Conference standings, Austin in 6th. It wasn't necessarily anticipated to be the kind of match that it was last night. You could sense that maybe Austin would have a tough time being on the road with that short rest, playing without perhaps their best player. And Salt Lake took very much advantage of that and jumping out to the lead in a big win. You compare that to this game here. 2 teams settled at 11th and 13th in the table, both coming off a couple of losses. Really weren't sure what kind of match you would see today, but you did know that Monarchs felt like they were due for a win, that they had been playing well, that the process hadn't yielded tons of goals, but they loved how they'd been executing in their build-up and their play in the midfield, and now just wanted to see that kind of intentionality. That's the word that Mark Lowry used, intentionality. He said, we know what we want to do when we're working out of the back, when we want to break pressure, when we want to take advantage of teams who try to turn us over. Let's find that same intentionality on the finish. Instead of just ripping a shot as hard as possible, can I aim for a corner? Instead of just crossing it into the box, can I find a teammate? I wanted to see a similar level of intentionality in the final third, in those finishing moments, as the team has displayed all season long, and how they build from the back 4. And I think those questions, I think those requests, that priority has been addressed today in a big way. Good vibes from America First Stadium just continued here to the next pro team. Between the first team side and the next pro side, Monarchs and Salt Lake have outscored Austin 9-1 over the last 24 hours. Monarchs continuing to push forward, try to time some runs here. Jacquesin out to Barker John on the right flank. Nifty little pass. Jacquesin deflected. Across the mouth of goal here, out of play. Corner kick. And Monarchs going to use their 5th sub here. And fans in attendance should absolutely acknowledge the effort today of Matt Bell, who will walk off. See him on that by the advertising banners there. 2 goals today. As this is guided in, a little too strong. Benny Redzik will enter the match for Bell. 10th appearance of the year for Redzik. Does have a goal to his name on the year. Played 24 minutes against North Texas last week after joining Monarchs last offseason. So Redzik, Amparo, Barker John, Pierre, and Iskandarian, the 5 substitutes for Monarchs, and Austin have not gone to their bench yet. It's only the 3rd meeting all time between these two teams. It's going to be the first win for Real Monarchs. Austin had defeated Monarchs 3-0 previously, and then also took them to a shootout, which they won. This portion of the match brought to you by Zion's Bank, official bank of the Real Monarchs. A really fun weekend around MLS Next Pro. Saw during halftime over in High Point, Carolina Core finally at last able to make their home debut at Truist Point against Huntsville. Sellout crowd on hand. Unfortunately for the hosts, a 4-1 loss, although it was just 2-1 when stoppage time began. Huntsville needed that first win all year for the Alabama side. Elsewhere around the East, Chattanooga and Philly have been terrific. Philly's in second, 2 points behind. However, they've played 2 fewer games than the league leaders. Really intrigued by the play of Philly's young striker, Eddie Davis, as the whistle blows here. Leads the team in goals with 5, 17 years old, academy product. He had 4 appearances all of last year. This year already he has 5 goals. Jim Curtin, head man of the first team level, very well may have his eyes on what Davis can contribute to the club down the road. He was a rising star of the month in Next Pro in March as well. How about North Texas in the West? Tied for first with 1 less game played than Ventura County. Michael Collodi having a great season in goal. He was talked about in that halftime feature as well. Tariq Scott and Pedro Fonseca combining for 7 goals thus far. That's a team that finished 11th in the West last year with 9 wins. Austin bringing pressure once more. Thriving in these moments over the course of the match today. Had no problem with it against North Texas last week. Again, North Texas, 11th in the West last year with 9 wins. They're already at 5 this year. John Gall, he's doing a great job with that group. I'd say that their defensive improvement has been the catalyst for this jump. The club gave up 48 goals last year. This season, through 10 matches played, just 8 goals allowed. So they're on pace to give up 25 fewer goals than last season's campaign. That kind of improvement will get you above the playoff line quickly. John Gall, always a great coach to talk to as well. Took over in the interim recently, was given the full-time tag. Doing a great job with that club as well. There's about 12 or so minutes to play here. Austin making their first substitute of the match. Brian Arellano, the 18-year-old, enters for his 10th appearance of the season. He comes in for Irvin Torres, first substitute for Austin. Monarchs perhaps looking for more here. Iskandarian, and it tapped out of play. Corner kick here. And there is the substitution taking place. Played 64 minutes last week in what was just his second start of the season. That was his first since the season opener when he scored a goal against Tacoma. Shot ripped, that's blocked. Another shot taken goes into the defense. Pierre. Storley played back. Talking about the center backs and Keller Storley with Mark Lowry prior to the game. We talked about the experience, the age, maybe the first team potential. Some of these players at the back four, talking about Storley, Lowry said he's a good athlete, calm in possession. We can rely on him in terms of his composure and consistency on the ball. He's a big part of why they break teams down with their pressure so well. Was asking what can he do to continue to perhaps get looks at the first team level. Wants to see him continue to be more dominant in the air. He mentioned his 6'1", 6'2" frame, good size. Said if he's going to make the jump, just needs to be a little bit more aerial dominant. And he referenced this time Lowry did as a midfielder. So it's real comforting to know your center back, if that ball goes over your head on a goal kick or from downfield, it's comforting to know your center back's going to have it. To see more physicality from both Storley and Farnsworth moving forward, using their frame and aggression to kind of stop runs when play is out wide. Likes their speed too, but wants them to be more aggressive on the flanks. So he said, look, at the next level, forwards get faster, they get bigger, they get stronger, everything's a bigger jump. If you're not winning balls here, how are you going to do it if it's Luis Suarez or Chicho Arango? Well, everything else is in place, the game understanding, the ability, and I'd say today that emphasis on physicality, winning aerial battles, I think that was answered emphatically. And a whistle here and a foul against Austin. Really nice game from both Storley and Farnsworth. A 14-1 advantage now in shots taken for Real Monarchs. From here, the Salt Lake side will have 10 days off. Their next match will be against Kansas City on June 12th. Just 2 matches coming up in the next 3.5 weeks, in fact, for Real Monarchs. Austin, on the other hand, are right back to it this Friday against Colorado Rapids 2. Their next 2 matches will be at home, June 7th and June 12th, against Rapids 2 and Timbers 2. Chance to get back in the win column. This Monarchs side entered this weekend 13th in the West. They play with the same spirits and execution as they did today. They will be above the playoff line soon. This is not a team whose record and place in the standings is indicative of the talent they have, and particularly when they bring a player or two down from the MLS level, and of course you don't expect to have that on hand all the time. But even their next pro products, whether it be Barker John, Iskandarian, Matthew Bell, they're showing some good things. Starting to put it all together. Be interested to hear Austin head coach Brett Utley's thoughts after the match on his impressions of this evening's affair. Just the club never able to break this back four of Monarchs down. Trying to still have 5+ minutes here late as Pinot commits a foul. Good intentions and ideas in the first half of Farkaloon. Farkaloon has been a little less involved here in half number 2. Maybe simply sometimes these sort of days inevitable in the league, particularly come to Utah or Denver. Never an easy place to play. Possession here from Monarchs. Totally in control. Not rattled. Taking their time. Obviously the scoreline, the point of this game, contributing to that. Barker John. Play back. 19-year-old out of Louisville. 2 goals this year, 37th pick by Real Salt Lake of this past year's draft. It's all ACC second team after a very successful sophomore year with Louisville. Barker John out of Louisville, Bell out of Marshall. 2 nice draft picks there from Salt Lake. And it was interesting, talking a couple of weeks ago with Mark Lowry, I was asking about Barker John, and this would certainly apply to Matthew Bell as well. So we're now at a point in the season where the college season has ended, that kind of 3-month mark, where then collegiately they shut down. He said, we've got 5-6 months left. So the guys coming out of college, it's not just the transition to a different level, environment, state, town. So they're coming from the 3-month competition schedule to having to be mentally switched on for 9 months. So he said not just the talent jump, but the mindset jump. We have to manage Damian, and this is applicable to Matthew, well, we got to manage them correctly. How do we make sure they don't fall off from a physical, a mental standpoint? That's the battle now. Sometimes they need some rest. Jacqueline turns. No whistle there as he went down. And that's part of the roster management at this level. I don't envy how much these next pro coaches have to take in consideration on a week-to-week basis and what they're dealt with. Sometimes there'll be 15 players in training. Sometimes there will be 30 as Garcia's going to come on. Micah Burden exits the game. Anthony Garcia, 20-year-olds from California. to that point, you have first-team players like Barajas, who sometimes will get a game in or get some time at the next pro level if need be. First-team players sometimes coming down. The academy players who deserve opportunities, we're going to get some time at the next pro level. Your actual players who are on next pro or homegrown contracts, and working all of those into the equation on a week-by-week basis. Never an easy thing for a head coach, and then they manage their minutes. They may start week by week over the course of the season. We have players who are used to a different schedule, like Bell or Barker John. Can't get it through there. And it's not just about the wins and losses, too. You want to have that synergy with the first team in the academy, so you're developing players here. Who are they going to train with? And who are they going to compete with on a week-by-week basis? The next pro player, get a little bit more out of a week with the first team, and then get some competition in with the next pro team that weekend, instead of sitting in too many matches. So much to take into account. We've seen about 100 players earn first-team contracts from MLS Next Pro through the first 2 years of its incorporation into the American soccer system. He's played a big role already. Gonna have 2 minutes of stoppage time here. Monarchs have outshot Austin today 17-1, 7-0 in terms of shots on target, 21-3 in terms of touches in the opponent's box. It's that kind of day for Austin. And for another one hopper from Jacqueline straight into the arms of Cervantes. Bell with the brace, scored in the 22nd and 69th minute. Barajas in the 36th from Jacqueline, and Iskandarian with the goal in the 57th minute. Those are the 4 goals today for Real Monarchs. More goals today than in the last 3 games combined. Taking out some frustrations. Iskandarian pushing it. Barker John shifts left. Barker John blocked. He's looking for the icing on the cake there. Austin not trying to deal with that. Final seconds ticking down. And Austin will look to regroup on Friday. Monarchs have 10 days off and just 2 matches in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Always good to get a big win like this when the games become a tad more infrequent. Of course, full summer of soccer upcoming between the Euros and Copa America. Final whistles blow. It was Real Monarchs Day from the start. A dominating performance, perhaps the most complete performance of the 2024 campaign from Mark Lowry's club. 4-0, your final score. Well, Monarchs will be happy about this one. Tonight's man of the match is presented by Adidas. It's Matthew Bell, the former Marshall man. Got the scoring started with that tap in. And in the second half, would add another. Right place, right time, both the first and second half. Watch him pounce on this spilled ball here. Matthew Bell, your man of the match, brought to you by Adidas. Appreciate you joining us tonight for our coverage of MLS Next Pro for our entire broadcast crew. I'm AJ Ricketts. Once again, your final score from America First Stadium. Real Monarchs 4, Austin FC A complete performance for this Monarchs side. They are back in the win column in a big way. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. From Salt Lake, I'm AJ Ricketts. We bid you good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.